Okay, all right. Yeah, so I'm gonna be grinding some coffees. We can talk about the coffees in a little, but I'm just gonna be here, bouncing between places.
Okay,
You
well,
can ignore
also
me.
move this. You brought more coffee. Put it on. Okay, so this is the coffee that we're gonna be cupping. Yeah. So I have some good news and I have some bad news. Which one do you want to hear first?
Let's start with the bad.
Okay, so we are not cupping all 24 in this collection because our Ikawa sample roaster blew up last night and almost caught on fire. The good news is that because we have fewer coffees, we can really focus in on the ones that we have at the table. And we have some additional bonus coffees from Ecuador, Pepe's coffees. So some like very special samples that Brian brought over here. Okay? So everyone cool with that?
Yeah.
I'd love to learn more about your experience in coffee. How do you brew at home? What coffee did you have this morning? What brings you here? And we kept this event intentionally intimate because I wanted it to be more interactive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So Warren.
Yeah, sure. So I'm been a coffee enthusiast for a few years. I'm a full-time engineer and actually a part-time barista in Philadelphia. I work at Elixir. And I've done a couple like pop-ups in my apartment as well. I've got like a full espresso bar build out at my place. I do a lot of pour-overs. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Bethany.
Kind of just
And
along
Sam.
for the ride.
Okay.
I have an espresso machine at home, so I typically.
Which machine do you have?
I honestly. Do you know what I have?
Yeah, so that Rancilio.
Rensselaer,
Yeah.
okay.
And I just typically do an area switch. I was college roommates with Warren, and
Yeah. He actually got me into specialty coffee. I used to drink like Wawa coffee. And he was like, "Oh, try this."
Oh.
And then it like changed.
I think I had
The trajectory
I had a
went
French press, and that was another level of
Okay.
He's far eclipsed where I am.
Yeah.
Sam, are you also an engineer?
I was.
Okay, until you.
Recently,
Okay.
I'm a jazz guitarist now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's a big step. Wow. Are there shows that we can go to?
Maybe soon.
Okay, cool. Okay. And Ezra.
Yeah. Relatively new just into coffee just the last year. First 25 years of my life, didn't drink any coffee, and then suddenly became obsessed with coffee. So
Wow.
I don't know how that happened. In terms of, I brew just espresso. I have a Pico Presso that's been fully S-Worksified with all Sheldon's different baskets and gauges, and that's kind of the main thing I'm using now. Looking to get a pour-over setup, so.
Okay.
Do that next.
Well, you're in the right place. And Howie.
All right, I'm Howie. I sell software and I play with coffee on the side. Got into it about a year ago when, for health reasons, I couldn't drink anymore, so decided to get into coffee. Went down that rabbit hole. A friend of mine told me about the AeroPress. Found some James Hoffman videos, found Brian, went through down that rabbit hole, and well, here I am.
Yeah. Howie, you've been in coffee for 1 year, but you really are deep in.
I went deep down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Where my wife has been like,
No more spending.
well, at least it's been like, well, there are worse midlife crises to have, so okay,
Yeah.
I'm okay with this one.
Yes. And Dan?
Yeah, I'm Dan, an engineer. I've been into specialty coffee in different levels, probably for 5-ish years now. Started mostly, AeroPress and like auto brewers, stuff like that. And then I'd say the last 2 years or so really gotten further into it with, gear upgrades, espresso machine, doing my own pour-overs, et cetera, learning more about different origins, different processing methods. And
Yeah.
just the more I learn, the more I love. So.
Great. And last but not least, Nick.
Nick, I'm just a fan. I grew at home. I got an EK 43. I just got into it like about a year ago. So
Okay.
I'm doing this adventure trying.
Okay. And how did you all hear about this event? Brian? Any? Brian? Okay. Woo, round of applause for Brian. Thank you.
Jiyoon from you last week.
Yeah, so I think what's beautiful about coffee is that you could be 30 days in, you could be 10 years in, but there's always something new to learn. And it's an intensely personal experience making coffee for yourself at home, but it's also a very binding communal experience. So I love doing events like this. And I think before we start cupping, as Brian's grinding the beans, I really want to give you sort of an overview of Bolivia as a country. So we can come over here. Come closer to the screen. Oh, who's done cupping before? Okay, like, who's done cupping more than 5 times? More than 10 times? Okay. Got it. All right, so Bolivia. Who knows where Bolivia is located?
As of yesterday.
Okay. This is Bolivia. So, anyone been to Bolivia? We are very familiar with its neighboring country, Brazil, which is the largest coffee producing country in the world. 65 million, 60 kilogram bags produced a year. And then we have Peru bordering Bolivia as well. So the coffees that are produced in Bolivia are grown in rainforests. I was very sad because Brian, MJ is on my team. MJ and I and my mom were supposed to go to Bolivia for sourcing last year, but there was a big wildfire in the Amazon, so it got canceled. So this is Bolivia. And I will share some photos from the farm. Who knows how to view this presenter mode here? I'm a Google Slides girl now, so. Okay, so this is the Los Rodriguez family. Anyone speak Spanish? Cool. So you're supposed to say Los Rodriguez. It's hard to say, yes. Yeah. Gotta pause. Sorry. Okay, so going back to slide 1, it's a family business. And show. I will just go like this because presenter view seems to move on its own. I'm not doing all 54 slides. This will be 10 minutes. So this is the father who started the business. This is the daughter and the son, and she leads all commercial like exports. He works with the communities and does the harvesting and milling, and this is the father, the boss. And this is what we're going to be cupping today. And if we look at Bolivia, we saw Peru is to the left, Brazil is to the right. There are 2 main coffee growing regions in Bolivia. One is called Caranavi and one is called Samaipata. And what's great about Bolivia is that they have altitude. So they go up to actually 2,100 meters above sea level. And it's about half and half between Samaipata and Caranavi. And you may be able to detect some differences in the terroir. So this side being closer to Brazil, this side being closer to Peru. Caranavi has more consistent climate and temperature throughout the year. Samaipata is much more, it's drier and more erratic. So that shows up in the cut. Okay. And in this collection, we have more than 3/4 being the Gesha varietal. Who has had coffee that is Gesha coffee? Okay. Who has had Batian? Okay. Pacamara? Okay. And Gesha Java Pea Berry combo? SL28 or SL34? Okay, cool.
I would say this morning.
Yeah. So what would you say are some main characteristics of Gesha?
Of
Anyone?
Gesha.
Yeah.
Tend to be like very like high florality.
Yeah.
To be like
Okay.
very delicate.
Okay. And what about Pacamara? Anyone?
Pacamara is like a hybrid of like two varieties, right?
Yes.
I forget what the varieties are. I've only had one, and the one that was like it was like a thermal shock, so it was like kind of heavily processed. I don't know if I really got a lot
Of the essence of the
specific
bean.
variety.
Yeah. Pacamara is a hybrid. It originates in El Salvador, and it has very punchy, fruity profile. So we have actually the #1 winner from Cup of Excellence, El Salvador, and it's very like pow. Yeah, so these are some of the coffees that we're going to get to taste today. And then what this family does so well is processing. They hire wine makers, wine engineers, agriculture at that specific point in time of the day. It affects how the coffee shows up. So this is one very cool processing method that I hadn't seen anywhere else yet. But it is rather it's less unusual in wine. So this is an example of how wine and coffee are influencing each other. So I think we're ready for cupping. Any questions or reactions to Bolivia and anything we talked about?
Are these like expensive lots coming out of Bolivia? Like, are these like highly sought after?
Yeah, they are. So Bolivia has a rich history in coffee production. There used to be Cup of Excellence in Bolivia until the government decided to reprioritize other agriculture sub-industries. So they deprioritized coffee, and it became very hard to grow sustainably and export. So they had to end the Cup of Excellence competition. So what Los Rodriguez family is trying to do is reinvigorate like very high-end luxury premium coffee in the country. So what's going to happen is we cup these coffees. Me and my mom and the team will pick which ones are our favorite that we want to bring to our customers, and then we will bid in the auction in early February. So it's not guaranteed that we'll be able to buy the coffees. It's an arduous process, but I'm hoping that we will be able to. All of the Cup of Excellence coffees that we have here are the result of cupping at origin and here and winning the bid. So they only export about, the last I heard, 5,000 bags of specialty coffee, which is very few. Bolivia coffees are not easy to come around. They're rare, and I really was intrigued by what this family is trying to do for their country as a coffee producing region. Yeah. So I'll end with the presentation with some pictures from the farm. So this is my mom and me on the farm. We couldn't go last year because of the fires, but we went the year before. So this is the cupping room where the coffee is processed, and then they cup it here for quality check. And then this is the processing mill. This is the dry mill. So before it gets boxed and exported, it rests here for I believe about 2 to 3 months because it has to rest for a bit. So in these bags are unmilled coffee. It's like rice. You have to mill rice as well. Hi. Hi. Welcome. What are your names?
Steve and Liz.
Ah, okay. Welcome, Jiyoon. And we're doing an overview of Bolivia. This is the mill. This is how we are cupping at the lab. My mom is very focused. That's the farmer. This is in the rainforest. Yeah. It is a beautiful cupping room.
Do you have other agriculture on the farm as well besides coffee?
They mainly do coffee, yeah, but a big part, big parts of their farmland is preserved.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is the processing facility, so these are natural coffees.
Do they own their processing?
Yeah, they do. And they process for neighboring farms as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and I'll show you a cool thing. Okay. So, illegal activity. This is, when I told you these bags are unmilled coffee, this is unmilled coffee. So you can pass it around. And this is slightly growing mold, but these are Panama geshas, I think. This is honey processed coffee. So it's in the processing stage. Yeah.
You said this is Panama?
Yeah.
Is this La Esmeralda?
It's Alita or Esmeralda. Yeah. I put them in my pockets just to show my baristas and my team. But then sometimes it gets mixed up and then I forget to write it down, so I don't know where exactly it's from. But from the shape of it, it's Panama. Yeah, they're large. So that's natural processing. It's being dried, right? Yeah. So that's it. And we will start cupping. Cool? All right. How's the grinding going? All done? Okay. All right, so I think we can start. We want it to be blind, right? Yeah. So please go around and who's been to a cupping before? Okay.
Yeah.
Warren, do you want to explain what cupping is and what we're trying to do right now?
Yeah, it's just like a very standardized way of tasting coffees. Like usually many coffees at a time to compare, maybe roast effects or different levels of roast, different coffees from regions, different varieties. It's just very simple, pouring boiling water over grounds, and just kind of letting it steep in there. This stage will just be used with the fragrance of the grounds and taking notes. And then we'll brew, smell the aroma, and then let it cool down and taste it.
It's a very, you see what people do and you'll get what's going on. But basically what we did right now is grind the coffee. So we are evaluating the fragrance. And then when everyone is done, we're going to pour hot water and evaluate the aroma. The difference between fragrance and aroma is fragrance is how it smells when it's dry, and aroma is when it's wet. And then we are going to eventually taste the coffee when it's hot, when it's medium hot, and then when it's cooled down. And the mark of a great coffee is that it withstands the cooling down process, and it'll still shine when it's cold. So yeah, please start. I think we should do the. No, it's okay. I think we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, to make it clean. Cool.
Notes of dandruff.
Did I come back to it?
So good.
MJ? Oh. Can we do these two as well? Yeah. Hmm? Oh, sorry.
First one right over here.
That one's supposed to be hard. It smells fruity.
Yeah, I think it's like your bacteria is kind of like.
And then you take multiple breaths of the non. It's hard to go back. It's like inhale, exhale, inhale. But watch out, it's that mindset.
The first one that works here.
There's other stuff.
But sometimes they change, I think.
Yeah.
How do you get into coffee?
Oh, family business.
Oh, Spanish.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Everyone done?
I know.
It's like when we just throw up the center.
So,
Yeah, all the.
not necessarily good.
Yeah.
I'm like, if that's a little
And I feel
Ah,
like there's
okay.
a trend on this side. You know, it's like
Oh, like on the leaderboard
On the
Discord.
leaderboard Discord. And I love it. I get it where they say the producers and the roasters are actually on the Discord. And I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
This is actually really good.
I looked up what this is.
Well, that's too cool.
That's the depression.
Oh no.
What kind of coffee?
I go from question.
Yeah.
Do you have the natural Taiwan coffee here?
Yes, but the label is not ready yet. So if you don't mind taking it with you unlabeled, you can. Otherwise, the label arrives on Monday.
I'll probably take one without it.
Really?
It's a gift for someone.
It's a discount.
I'm flying Sunday, so
Oh, where are you flying?
Vegas.
Why don't you just have it sent?
I'm only there for 2 days, so I'm staying at a hotel.
Is the recipient Taiwanese?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very special.
She's also very into coffee, and she did me a huge favor at work. So
It's a very good
I just watched the
coffee.
video yesterday. I was like,
Oh,
oh, that looks like
yeah.
something I could do.
It's really good. Yeah, we can do that for you. All right. Okay, I think water's ready. So MJ, do you want to help me with water? Or Brian, can you help me with water?
Pouring.
Yeah,
Are these?
I think it's ready. It's boiling. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I can use that one.
Okay.
You can go that way. You can go now. It's boiled. That way. Okay. Ready, get set, go.
I'll lie to her. Like this is a pre-production one. Early access. I think you're kind of scooping this. I think it's impossible to control. Yeah, you should put more water in this one.
Oh, no. Brian, you're messing up the. It's okay. We can just leave it like that.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Fine. Coming is so serious.
It's fine.
I live in Philly. I work at Elixir. They got some really fun muffins.
Okay, so now what we evaluate is the, yes. It's a minute 30, so we can go ahead and evaluate.
Starting, are we going backwards this time? Start this side.
Let's go this way, clockwise, counterclockwise. At the end of this, I'm gonna ask everyone what their top 2 picks are. But try not to reveal that during the cupping because we don't want to influence each other. So, we have to break. Who knows how to break? Okay, so you, Warren, Brian, me, MJ, we will break.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
I also brought a couple spoons with me.
If you want to use it, sure. I'm gonna break 3 to 9. Howie, do you want to break 1 to 3? No? Ah, okay. You can break 1, 2, 3. Okay, 4 minutes passed, so I'm gonna break.
I shouldn't say anything.
And please skim. Skim into here. You can skim into here. We're good. if you can do me a favor, take pictures and post, please. That's the best way to share the work that we're doing and yeah, bringing more awareness to Bolivia coffee and the Los Rodriguez collection. So, yeah. Okay. So it's been 6 minutes and 50 seconds. If you start cupping now, you will burn your tongue. So I advise against that. When it hits 10 minutes, I'll let you know and we can start evaluating the coffee when it's hot. I'm sure you guys have your favorites already that you're keeping to yourself. The interesting thing about coffee is your favorite may be, let's say, number 3 in the fragrance and aroma stage, but when you start cupping, it may actually change. Your favorite may be E3 at the end of it all. So see how the coffees progress over time.
Is this your typical cupping grinder used for like QA/QC?
This is Brian Kwan's single edition, mono edition, all-time great grinder. I have one coming my way. It's going to be purple. Shout out to Dennis. I'm so excited for my own grinder. Yeah.
What kind of birds are they?
It's very. Do you want to talk about this grinder?
Sure.
It's hyper clarity.
A bunch of stuff. Yeah. So.
Sorry.
From a company called Capitec in Seattle. This is their new grinder. This is the Monolith Vertical or M98V. So it has 98mm burrs. All the burrs, everything's like done in house. And yeah, but this is. I was in Seattle, and this is like a special edition of it. I think they have some on pre-order still, but it's a very premium grinder. It comes in like this Pelican case somewhere here, but I came from the Bay Area and I like brought it over. In my,
It comes in a real Pelican case.
Yeah,
This has
so
JFK on it.
This was
Yeah.
a travel. It's my new travel grinder. So yeah, a little overkill, but it's fun. So yeah, no more hair grinders. I mean, it's like basically a hyper aligned 98mm grinder. This is really more for home space, but or like it's this, you know, it's not an EK speed, but the quality of coffee is incredible, in my opinion at least. Definitely more brew focused, at least compared to this specific unit. Although it depends on what burrs. But, you know, you can put other burrs in this thing. But this is like the in-house burrs from Capitec. So this is like the Shuriken Coarse brew burrs, and it's actually a full blind burr as well. So there's an auger up here for a feed. But hopefully in the cup you'll be able to taste a lot of really interesting layering, a lot of, you know, we're trying to expose as much as possible in these coffees, especially of this quality and this price point. Like you don't want your piece of equipment to be like the thing that's in between you and tasting the coffee, especially if you're going to be making a potentially very expensive buying decision on, do I want to buy, like, you know, all of these coffees? So yeah, or bid on, or spend a lot of money on coffees. I guess I can also talk about what else is here later, or I don't know, or should we do it after? Maybe
I
we'll do
think
it after.
How much is that?
This is $4,200.
$4,000.
About 4,000.
So I had to sell millions of beans to buy one.
Yeah.
This is for you, Dennis.
But yeah, coffee grinders are fun. A lot of equipment is very, very fun, but depends on what you want and how crazy you are.
There's some of like the roast profiles compare on these coffees, like where you kind of like, you know, like kind of what was the thought process behind the profiles?
I'll answer that. By the way, it's 11 minutes, so we can start. We have a standard
Thank you.
standard roast profile on the kawa that we adjust depending on our knowledge of the varietal and the region. Yeah. So what we're going to do is modified cupping. everyone will have a spoon, and rather than doing it the traditional way, we're going to be mindful of anything that might be going around. So we'll just do a little cup, a little spoonful, pour it into our cups, and then drink out of the cup. So we can get started.
Do we just grab anyone or just like the one?
The spoons? Yeah, the spoons are all clean.
You just don't want to cross-contaminate between each of them. So every time after you pour it in, dip your...
Yeah, this is how you dip and then clean.
Do we go in order to try everything or like it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter the order.
I did bring your same days. That's a nice. Yeah, it takes practice. I've like church so many times trying to like.
Oh, on Instagram, if you are going to post, which all of you should, I am cup of Jiyoon, and the business is Bean and Bean Coffee. So make sure to tag both of us. Are you tasting some?
I will.
Okay. Oh, no more? Spoons. We have more spoons. Is this still live streaming?
It is.
Okay. Can you see everything?
Sort of. The internet is just weird right now, but I think the audio
Why is the internet weird?
I have no idea.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It was working and then
Oh,
it
you
stopped
mean the
working. Yeah,
connection?
It's been like a bit everywhere.
So different being on this side, used to being on the other side.
There are spoons there.
But I don't know. I don't know who's gonna be watching this because their internet's kind of everywhere, so it's like kind of dropping frames a little.
Oh, thank you.
I need to take a picture. You got the instant test right.
Is this date night?
It's more like
Date
no.
afternoon?
Yeah.
She's accompanying me to a hobby that I like.
Like you can always tell which one is.
That's how it works, right?
Our daughter
You're a
was
very supportive partner.
Our daughter was like, I want to come.
Why didn't you bring her?
She's none of us would be able to do anything. We bought her.
How old is she?
She's 5.
Oh.
There's like I'm doing like a lunar new year cupping.
The croissant that you guys have on the chocolate, is it chocolate croissant?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one she.
Yeah.
Aww.
But it's gonna be the same thing. We're gonna do like a little local presentation and then go up. We have like so that one is not what I expected.
The second part.
Not what I expected at all.
Yeah.
I'd be curious about what you know about the cafe coffees. There's some interesting fermentation that is in there. So those are samples that Pepe and Jose handed me when they were in the Bay Area. So it's like, and then they sample roasted. So it's the bleach and then sample roasted here. Influencing you. This is so good.
Okay, so I think everyone had a chance to taste the coffee when it was hot. Now it's cooling down. So let's take another round.
this one.
And yeah, a water cheese.
So you can sip on it.
That's alright. We're committed we're here.
Imagine putting it under extraction turbo without that.
I do like that it's sweet.
That's what I did.
I started out with full spoons and now I'm going to quarter spoons.
How long is the process from like growing to like harvest to bring? Yeah, what's the process?
So it varies. Once you plant a coffee tree, you can start to harvest and process and sell the coffee when the coffee is 3 years old. So it takes some time for a new tree to mature. From harvesting to processing, I would say it needs to sit on the coffee farm mill for a couple months for the coffee to rest. So let's say like 3 months for that, and then travel by ship from say Africa to here, a month plus. So the transit state alone will take months. Yeah, and different coffee producing countries have different harvest seasons. Some countries harvest just once, others harvest twice. Some even harvest 3 times.
Do you have to keep it at certain degrees to know or anything?
Yes, it has to be tightly temperature controlled in cool conditions. In regions like Panama, all these coffee farms have air-conditioned rooms dedicated for the coffee. It's like humans, the coffee beans get treated better than humans.
Just stay away for the next couple of weeks.
So after you get I just need to go. Do you have to wait or can you just go?
What's that?
Um,
I'm a civil engineer.
Does it benefit?
It depends. I think sometimes the beans benefit from resting. Like some greens are too fresh, so you can still taste that freshness.
I always say,
Yeah, there's so many factors and variables. You know how roasted coffee, you want to give it some rest, like especially the lighter roast coffees. Some coffees will shine at like week 8 or plus even.
I feel like
It
I
depends.
don't buy enough coffee beans to ever make it to the week to try, right?
That's a great cafe.
So I usually tend to wait 2 to 3 weeks, and then I'll finish it.
He's from Lancaster.
By week 6, something like that.
Impatient.
Isn't it pronounced Lancaster or something?
I don't get enough.
It's like
Ah.
Lancaster?
So
I don't know.
It's not
I do this
Lancaster.
pour over every day, and I just
Their
thank
umpire
you.
was in the Bay Area.
You kinda just
He's
stick
like,
with it.
We're from
Finishing
Lancaster,
the fast.
Pennsylvania. And I'm like, is that actually how you pronounce it? It's like, yes.
Believe it or not.
You would literally get stuck behind the horse and
I was like, your next question was like, who's sleep tonight?
To you.
Can I see what it looks like?
We couldn't see your presentation, but it's okay.
Oh,
We'll put it in the. We'll put
sad.
it somewhere.
Well, the audio's there.
Yeah, the audio's there. Production roasting and running here. Yeah, because you roasted all of these.
That's a great question.
Right? What were some of the processes from the Bolivian lot?
So many.
Okay.
Anaerobic washed, fully washed, various types of honey.
So very citrusy.
Yeah, he just sent me a list. I was like, hey, we're also doing this stuff. It's like the what? There's lore that maybe we can share later on. There's too much lore in my life right now. There's so much lore. It's so bad. It's so good and bad. He's trolling right now. Your microphone's on, so it just.
Yeah, take it easy, everyone. I know it's Friday, but. Any fun plans after this?
Dinner, go home.
The hot pot place next door is fantastic.
Oh, yeah?
It's really good.
I might do it.
Just a little tip. I know we're nearing the bottom of the cup. Try not to disturb the grounds. Be very gentle in skimming just the liquid because one, you don't want to taste and swallow the coffee grinds, and two, we don't want to give it extra agitation because then it'll be uneven extraction across the cups.
This row of trees are not here, right? Are the trees also from this box?
We'll see. And I think there's, because there's only one cup and many of us, we are really nearing the end. So maybe now is the time to kind of be mindful of how much you are putting in your spoon.
Full spoon. Oh, this is too much. I can't do this.
It really depends. The question was, how do we pick out which farms we want to work with?
Yeah.
We work with many different farms around the country, around the world. I think I like to prioritize relationships that we've built throughout the years in the past 15 years of doing business. So buying more from the farms that we already work with year after year. But we're always looking for new partnerships that can turn into long-term partnerships.
How you came across here?
Los Rodriguez,
Yeah.
we got invited to come cup on their farm because they were doing an auction there, and I went there with my mom as international judges. So that's how we first,
that's pretty cool.
yeah.
How much of your coffee coffee is like relationship coffee. Do you like buy all your coffee direct from farms, or do you?
A lot of our coffees are directly bought. Most of our direct relationships are concentrated in Central and South America. What I'm working on is trying to expand that into more Asia, like Taiwan as an example, and Africa too. Yeah.
Coffee culture is pretty big in Korea, right?
Yeah, coffee culture is very big in Korea. Actually, there are coffee farms in Korea, but it's kind of crazy because do you know about the Korean War? So people say like a lot of soldiers died because it was so cold, like just so cold, and coffee needs good climate. So how could people be growing coffee in Korea, right? Because it's so freaking cold. But there are farms that grow coffee in greenhouses in Korea. Yeah.
Is Korea that cold?
It's really cold. It's like New York cold plus. Yeah. All right. Okay, so I do want to do voting. Should we do like a paper voting thing, or raising your hand is fine? Okay. I'm just gonna take some notes on, yeah.
How long have you had this business?
Since 2008.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna do one last pass through, FYI.
How many can you drink a day?
How much coffee do you drink a day?
I normally spit during cupping, but I don't feel like it. So, and these coffees are so good, I want to drink it all.
I will say it's like hard to like look for yourself, just like being around it all day. Like when I'm like working bar, I just like I'll get off shift, I'm just like buzzing. Especially because when you're so busy, I don't really get to eat either. No, I work at a cafe.
Okay. It's not that New York.
I actually took the day off from my day job to come up here. So it's, yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, of course.
Warren over here came over from Philadelphia, took a day off to join our cupping. Wow. Woo!
Shout out Philadelphia Coffee Station. Go Birds. No, I got one right here. It's the same one.
I'm originally from the Bay Area, but I've been out here a couple of years. I live by LaGuardia.
Are you taking Hardo photo?
I said that earlier.
I missed that.
I've had these spoons since like actually I've used them the most now that I have like in the past 5 years. How much do you develop your sample roast?
We can have our sample roast master come talk about it later. Do you roast at home?
What's that?
Do you roast at home?
Not yet. I'd really like to get into it. I'm just not sure where to start.
I don't think you want to get into it. No, just enjoy it, man.
That's true. Honestly, like, the more and more you go down the rabbit hole, like, it gets, like, so frustrating.
Yeah. Okay. Are we ready to talk about the coffees?
Yes.
So what we're gonna do is I am going to go down 1 through 9 on the wrap around, and everyone, I want to hear your top 2. Just raise your hand if number one is your top. Okay, so was number one anyone's top coffee? Okay, Warren, what did you like about number one?
Let me taste it again, honestly, I can't forget it. I think I was really impressed with how the flavor separation when it was hot. I feel like it was very complex. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of got that like almost like lactic acid fermentation taste going on, but it's not too overpowering.
Okay.
It's like a nice little punch, like afterwards. Like when you sip it, when it was warm, it had a good punch to it.
Yeah.
I could tell Nick over here. Nick couldn't hide his love for number one.
Yes.
He kept making all these faces like, oh my God, this is so great.
No poker face.
Yeah, so I know number one is your favorite because you gave it away.
Yeah. That's the one.
Okay. Number one is a Los Rodriguez coffee. It's from Caranavi, and it is a Batian. The process is cocoa natural. Now, I don't know exactly what cocoa natural means. I have to talk to the producers. They have so many different processing methods. But yeah, this has lots of fruits like apricot, grapefruit, pineapple, stone fruit. So I think that's what Nick and Warren liked about number one. Number two. Anyone? So Ezra, what did you like about number two?
I really like the sweetness. I felt like it kind of had. I like the aftertaste. I felt like it kind of lingered longer than some of the other ones.
Yeah. So two is from Zamaipata, which is on the other side of the country. Caranavi versus Zamaipata. This is a Pacamara. So Pacamara comes from El Salvador. It has that crazy like fruit punchiness to it. This has some cherry, some guava. It's very sweet. Yeah. Now number three. Sorry.
So what was the process on that one?
Coco natural.
Oh, they're both
Yes.
are? Okay.
Yes. Number three. Favorite? Howie. Yeah. Dan. Okay, Howie, Dan, and I are calibrated. I love number three so much. It's from Zamaipata. It has that like classic geisha characteristics of like bergamot, elegant, just beautiful. You're so beautiful, I want to keep drinking this cup. Jasmine peach, delicate but like strong characteristics. It's a mix of geisha and Java pea berry. So this is a blend. Yeah. Yeah.
But that would still be considered a single origin, so it's like from the same line?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Do we get one or two votes? I can't remember.
You can vote for two. Yeah. So as a coffee buyer, I'm going to be, I'm going to take into account everything that I tasted today and reflect that in the auction. Number four, did anyone like number four? Dan? Okay.
I can't speak to it.
Bethany? Okay. What did you like about number four, Dan?
A lot of the same stuff in the body that I liked about the third one, but 4 had more of a, I'm not sure if it was like the structure of acidity or a bump in acidity, but the acidity really, in general, stuck out to me on 4.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like that clean kind of acidity to it, which is, I mean, you remember last week, that's kind of what I always pick out. That's always my bag,
So same region, same farm. So you have a great palate, Dan. It's a Batian, not a Geisha or a Java. It's a natural processed coffee. Yeah.
That would explain, I guess that would explain it being a little louder.
Yeah. Okay, number 5, anyone? Anyone had number 5 as their favorite? Okay. Oh, sad. Number 5 has no No fans. This is an SL28 from Zamaipata. It's a natural wet fermentation. You know, very classic, like brown sugar, sweet, molasses. So I think in contrast to a very strong, powerful number 3, like maybe that clouded our appreciation for number 5. Number 6, anyone? Okay. What did you like about it?
I think it was a little bit more acidic than number 1, because I also really like number 1.
Okay.
But it was clean and like full body.
I really like number 6. It's from Zamaipata. So note that number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are all Zamaipata. So try to taste the terroir, or try to learn what that tastes like. It's an SL34. It's a natural lactic fermentation. 6 is one of my higher scoring coffees. The cherry, molasses, orange, papaya, plum, super sweet, a little bit winey. It also really shined during fragrance and aroma. So in the fragrance and aroma, early on, I was like, oh, I'm going to pay attention to this coffee. Yeah. And it didn't disappoint. But yeah, okay. Number 7. Number 7, Steve and Warren.
Yeah.
Brian, what was your favorite one?
6.
Okay. Number 7 was one of my favorites as well.
My 3rd favorite.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for your validation, Ezra. I feel very... Okay, so 7 is from Karanavi. It's washed carbonic fermentation. Floral, grapefruit, slightly minty, sweet and sugary. I thought it was an elegant presentation of this. Yeah, it's again, it's like that classic geisha, but between 3 and 7, I think 3 is a little bit. It drew me more a little bit. Yeah.
I was really impressed with how the flavor profile changed as it cooled.
Yeah.
So I'll caveat this. I didn't keep great track of 6 through 8.
Yeah.
But I think it was 7. In my opinion, when it was really warm, it had this like great florality, almost like an oolong or like a jasmine tea. And as it cooled down, it got a little more like kind of like citric or even like a stone fruit acidity. It was excellent.
Yeah, I love it when coffee. You can chart like the way that coffee progresses over time. Some coffees start very strong and it's just sort of like this. Other coffees are like this, dips and then comes back up. Other coffees are just like wow, so dynamic. And I think what Warren is saying about number 7 is an example of that. Okay, so we're gonna move on to this side of the table. Let's see, whose was E1 anyone's favorite? Okay, 3 people. What did you like about it?
I got kind of like a sweet taste to it in the beginning, kind of like honey.
Honey, you said?
Yeah, that's.
Okay, Nick tasted honey. What did Dan taste?
Yeah, similar like that of sweetness.
Sweet.
Really, really there.
Yeah. Well, if you look here, there's nothing left. So
Started with less.
So a few reasons why at cupping, like you can see which one was people's favorites by looking at which one there's nothing left of. And number 1, there's nothing left of. I think because Dan and Nick drank it all, but also because Brian messed up the water pouring, so he didn't give as much love to this cup. But yes, great coffee. E2, anyone like E2? Okay, what did you like about it, Howie and Elizabeth?
I could identify that one, so I love that one.
Yeah, I really loved 2 as well, E2. Ezra?
Yeah, I think I've never really had a coffee like it. It was kind of like vegetable-y in a good way. I don't know, like it was.
There was a lot going on.
Yeah.
Almost got like a straw or like a hay.
Yeah.
Like flavor note, which I thought was kind of
Like there was sweetness there, but it was
Yeah.
also like it wasn't like a fruit sweetness. It was like it was just
I think for me, okay, E3, anyone's favorite?
I really liked it.
Okay. Yeah, between E1, 2, and 3, E3 was my favorite. Why, Howie? The linger? Yeah. Anyone else want to chime in?
Like 3 a lot. It was. I didn't put 2 in mine because I guess I had to pick 2 favorites, but I like them all. But 2 I didn't raise my hand for because I know, like Howie said, I knew what that was. 3 was, it tasted different. For knowing that it's a pepe, it tasted different than what I'm like, I guess, used to with that. They had a lot of different linger and the acidity was different than I'm used to with pepe stuff. I've drank too many.
Yeah.
Pepes, so 3 was unique.
Yeah, I like 2 more than 1 and 3 more than 2. 3 has like lots of like red fruits. It also has flowers. So yeah, very good coffee. Now let's move on to these 4. S1, anyone's favorite? I'm just gonna cup out of it. So you shouldn't cup anymore if you don't want my germs. S1. This was the weakest performer at the table that had slight hay. Maybe there were some Quakers. I don't know. We'll investigate. S2. S2, anyone? It was a very round coffee for me. S3, anyone? Nobody likes S3. Okay. And then S4. I got a little bit of hay in this too. So we're gonna. Oh, we skipped them?
I think so.
Oh, this is 8 and 9. Okay. 8. Anyone's favorite? No. Well, 8 is a geisha. Process is called honey mosto. I need to get on a call with the producer and ask exactly what these processing methods mean. Um, 8 has that geisha profile as well. It is, I got apricot and orange, sugar. 9, anyone's favorite? Okay, what did you like about it, Liz? Okay, yeah. So this one is pink lactic honey from Caranavi. 8 and 9 are, 7, 8, 9 are all from Caranavi. Yeah.
they're all geishas.
7, 8, 9 are all geishas. So,
Yeah, they did.
yeah.
I think of the 3 though, I think 7 was my favorite.
Okay. Yeah, 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Between 7, 8, 9, 7, I like the most. Maybe that's why I skipped 8 and 9. Subconsciously. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do. I guess I did the grand reveal already, right? Yeah. So E1, E2, E3 are Pepe's coffees. I don't know what processing.
We can look at it.
It's a Typica washed.
Putuchio.
Okay.
So Typica washed Putuchio.
And then E2 is.
Teoxy, so that's like what. That should be a Mejorado. And then
Okay.
this is
E3.
This is like a new one.
Cold
So
fermentation.
that's like cold ferment. That should also be Typica, but that should be a natural.
Okay, and then S1, 2, 3, 4 are actually from the same farm, but this is the Los Rodriguez collection. This is not part of the collection. Yeah, so really the collection is samples of their top coffees.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, this side.
I think naturally we all kind of stuck on this.
Yeah, but I think the reason why I wanted you to taste these alongside these other ones is because when you're cupping just the best of the best, you kind of lose track of reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good to have some counterpoints. And yeah, same terroir, same region, same farms, but high end versus great coffee, but not the same level. The Taiwan?
Is this the Taiwan Natural in here?
It says Taiwan on it.
Here?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I think this is this concludes our cupping. Any other questions? I'm gonna cup them again after you leave. But I really liked number 3. I really liked number 7. I really liked E3. Yeah.
Who's the sample roasting master?
Sal. Sal is our production manager. Warren wants to talk to you later. Okay. All right. I think this is it, Brian.
Okay.
Anything else you want to do?
I was gonna brew some of the Taiwan Natural Gesha.
Okay.
Brew as raw. Well, we can brew like one coffee and share it.
Yeah. Are you all coffeed out, or do you want?
Just a little bit share.
Okay, we can. Brian can brew some coffee for us. Maybe 1 coffee or 2 coffees maximum.
Yeah.
And then we can all go have our Friday nights, okay?
Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Keeping you social lives.
Okay.
How did you get into this industry?
Not by choice.
Really?
No, I love coffee. Family business. Yeah. There's so much to learn. I like learning. I like feeling like I'm gathering and collecting knowledge and growing every day, and coffee is a great place to.
Did you start as a business owner in coffee, or were you like a Q grader first? Or?
I was a barista when I was in high school,
Okay.
like part-time, working at my parents' cafe. So that's how I started.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which was the first location? Because you got a few.
Yeah, so we have 3 locations, 1 in Phi Dai, that's our first location, 2008. It's in a landmark building. It used to be a photo studio, and then became our coffee shop. It's still there. And this location is our roastery. I grew up around here. So now when I come to work, I have to reverse commute. And I take the Long Island Railroad, which is kind of sad because it's the train I used to take from here to high school, like into the city every day, and now I'm doing it in reverse. And then 1 location in Fort Lee, New Jersey. Yeah. Are we opening more cafes?
Yeah.
Do you want to invest?
Are you buying?
Okay, if you want to smell this coffee.
Taiwan Natural.
Oh, who saw Brian's video on the Taiwan Natural coffee? Who didn't see it? Okay, so this is the Taiwan. I'll pass it this way. Taiwan is a up-and-coming producing region, and super limited lot from a coffee farm that won 2nd place in the Cup of Excellence this year, which I was a judge for. And This is just a beautiful representation of what is possible in Taiwan in terms of terroir, flavor, and expression. Yesterday when Brian brewed it, I was just like, am I this good at sourcing coffee? Or is Brian this good at brewing coffee? Is Sal this good at roasting coffee? Or like, how is it so good? It made me so happy to taste this coffee because I hadn't brewed it before yesterday. And if it performs as well as it did today, it's because I sourced great coffee. If it doesn't, it's because Brian is messing up the brew.
It's very hard.
Do you want to gather around this coffee?
Oh yeah, sure. You guys can come over here. So I'm just brewing on a brewer called the Column from Mellow Drip. This is a zero. Oh sure. I don't know if people can hear this.
Or do you want to go closer?
It doesn't matter. It's too late. Everybody knows this. Yeah. So this is the Column from Mellow Drip. So it's a zero bypass, like cone-shaped brewer. So essentially, there's a column, and your coffee's in here, and all of the water you pour has to go through this column of water, and it can't bypass all of this. Okay, all right, the stream is now moved over here. I have no idea. But we brewed this yesterday on V60, and this is also a tool from Mellow Drip, but essentially it's just like, can we extract some of these coffees like higher with, it's really complicated. Actually, coffee's really dumb in the sense like how you pour water on it changes how it tastes, but I am just doing like 3 pours. It's going to be like 18 to 300 something. But yeah, so some of this is direct kettle agitation and then some of this is like more percolation this is the actual Mellow Drip. So how water falls onto coffee and like what speed it falls at and all of this impacts flavor, which is really fun. Good and bad thing about coffee. I'm trying to drastically oversimplify it. But essentially, if I do a good job at brewing this coffee, and we're using pretty high-end equipment, and this is high-end coffee, it should taste good, hopefully. But yeah, this is just pour over. But this is zero bypass. So the way I would describe how this tastes is essentially if you've ever tasted a coffee brewer like the Next Level. A little more water. Next Level Pulsar. A lot of things taste like super harmonious, or like an AeroPress, like a long, steep AeroPress, like high, big body, lots of harmony between like acidity and everything there. This, because it's like this shape, cone, it's very similar to that, but usually it's a slightly more vibrant, slightly more acidity forward. Because water can't really pass through, or as we'd say, bypass. So like water can bypass touching the coffee in something like this, versus this, it doesn't. It's hard to see because it's metal. Usually you get, I would say, a little bit more body, a little bit more harmony between things, higher extractions. So we'll see how this tastes. If this doesn't taste good, this is like not reflective of how good her coffee's roasting and sourcing is. This is where I classify this as a last mile problem in coffee, where you sell coffee to these two people, and then it's up to them to execute it properly. And this is now in the void. I'm the void here, where if I mess this up,
Going on?
I think it is still going on, or I don't know. I don't know what's
Can you
happening.
fix it? I don't think so.
I think it is still going on. It's just slow. Anyway, okay, here we go. We can taste some of this.
What type of water do you like to use?
I like to use really soft water.
Okay. Like RO water?
Here, actually, you can pass this around. It's hot. Smell it. Generally, like 10 to 25 ppm water. I actually use tap water from my house in the Bay Area, which is super, super soft. I cannot exactly remember my like general hardness and my GH and KH values right now, but yeah, really soft water, generally
Okay.
speaking. And then this coffee is really interesting. So if you've never tasted Taiwan coffee before, I think the simplest way to like explain Taiwan terroir is it's kind of like if you've ever brewed like an oolong tea or you guys got cups? Oh, actually, here, right. Let me give you guys new cups here. Yeah, there's a trash can over there. Like every region has its own flavor profile and whatnot. That's fresh. Thank you. Oh. And I would say that a big component of Taiwan coffee, because in Alisan, this is where this was grown, it has like a tea component to it, and you'll kind of find that in here as well. I always think about it like dry tea leaf effect. With a lot of these newer and smaller regions, here, let's pass it down. Sometimes like the processing or like the region of the coffee can be fairly, I guess like harsh, or it can be very apparent. I think it's for this specific coffee, it is really well tied in there. But this is Gesha, by the way.
Is it natural?
Natural Gesha. So let that really, really cool. And we'll assume we've brewed it correctly. But if you smell like, I get like an oolong tea, or like a tea in there. Tea leaf, usually like dry tea leaf after that. So that's like what is pretty characteristic of a lot of these Taiwan coffees. Give it a taste. There's like acidity in this, like, which is quite interesting, because like from a lot of these like newer regions or smaller regions, it's hard to, I think it's like harder for you to get like such developed and complex acidity. The main thing in this is also super fresh, by the way. This was roasted like 2 or 3 days ago.
Really?
Yeah, it's super fresh. So I let it really, really bloom. A lot of sweetness. I think it's like kind of like a milky and creamy, like linger on my palate, but it's really clean. Like this is a natural, but you get so much like oolong, like sweetness on your palate. I would let this like cool even more, and you should get more like red fruit, tropical type of acidity, which is really interesting because you have to think about this. This is like not Panama Gesha. This is not like, you know, this is like low, really, really small scale production in the context of coffee.
So how is this brew compared to yesterday?
The other brew, so this is pushed even harder. So I'm really curious like how hard you can push some of these coffees in terms of the extractions. Like, I mean, we're not measuring these right now with any values, but essentially like roasting styles and processing, if you push the coffees harder, you either will see coffees kind of fall apart, like, oh, this coffee can't handle this much extraction. It's not to say that you should push every single coffee as hard as possible, but like, I think this is a really great representation where it's like, we're not seeing this, like the Taiwan terroir here, which is that dry tea leaf effect. Like, we're not seeing that become super harsh or painful, right? It doesn't hurt to taste. And I think that's just a really great example of like, this is really well processed. And you're able to kind of taste those things together. The other thing with this brewer, what's interesting is like taste, we also have more coffee if you guys want to taste this, is taste how things are tied together. A lot of the like higher ratio zero bypass brews, a lot of the acidity is tied to like the mid palate, then it's tied to the finish. And in this coffee, it's like really harmonious, but there is acidity, is an acidity forward part of this, which is like because of this cone shaped thing. But also this coffee does have higher acidity, so that's cool.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah,
that was what, like a 1 to 18 ratio?
About, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's got a great body on it, so.
Yeah. The acidity is there.
Yeah.
Really clean
You're
finish.
right though. It's definitely not like as like on the front like as maybe like a V60.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice, like well balanced.
Yeah, so you get a lot of that because of just simply zero bypass. So like we are at like higher TDSs, like you can see, how like dark that is. But also, you know, we're brewing on like ultra high end equipment. We also are brewing only at like, you know, 90, 94 Celsius for this coffee, so not like really pushing the coffee crazily. So you got a lot of like nice rounding at the back. I think the really interesting thing is the linger. Like, yes, it's acidity forward, but like still for me it's just this like linger on my palate. So yeah, that's this coffee. I think it is still, there are still a little bit of this coffee left, but yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let it really cool. So you're gonna, that acidity is gonna become a lot more structured. Yeah. More pop. Yeah, more apparent. But yeah, like this type of brewing equipment that we have here is like a very high transparency. Like we're really able to taste the coffee. Yeah. And in this case, it's like, you know, you're tasting a really rare coffee here. So it's hopefully very unique compared to like other coffees you've tasted.
What grind size do you use?
I'm brewing at
Pretty coarse,
about,
I'd say.
yeah, I'm brewing about like 370 microns off touch on this specific brew set. Actually, yeah, around there. But because of the agitation, it looks more coarse. Okay. Should I brew another, or do you guys want to have one more coffee, or should I just brew like Esmeralda for fun? Sure. Okay, I will brew Esmeralda. This is an incredibly expensive coffee. It was like 100.
So how did this perform?
This coffee is, I think it tastes better than yesterday.
Oh, what?
Higher extraction. This is for sure higher extraction. So we'll brew Esmeralda. This coffee for that single bag was like $127 or something. It was like over $100 for that Esmeralda. So I will brew you all Esmeralda, and then that will be the last coffee. And hopefully you'll have a great impression of today.
Wow.
Yeah, so we'll brew Esmeralda for fun.
Brian, he wants, Howie wants you to brew the birch.
Oh, we can do it later. Okay, so let me get that set up, and yeah.
Same brew method for the...
Well, yeah, we'll do the exact same thing, maybe up the temperature just ever so slightly, and we'll brew the naturally processed Esmeralda. Where'd the trash can go? Is there an open bag of Esmeralda somewhere here? Where's the Esmeralda?
You can just open that.
Okay. This coffee is uber expensive. Okay, I'm not gonna open it. hold on. So this is Panama Gesha, natural processed. It's like 92 points Q score. Big number, better. This is the Mellow Drip filter paper. So it's actually a really tiny paper filter, and this is the column. So it's all metal and glass. And you actually can brew large doses on this brewer, even though it's super tiny. But it is one of these brewers where it's like you have to spend some amount of effort to learn how to set it up and then use it.
Do you think a Mellow Drip is like a worthwhile tool to have in your arsenal?
I think so. Okay. I really, really like coffees coming off of, or brewed with Mellow Drip, these days at least.
Yeah. I tried your high agitation recipe. I was a big fan of it.
Yeah, so it's just like nowadays I'm doing some mix of that and some Mellow Drip. Yeah, it's just like, let me grind this coffee and you guys can smell it. But this is like, this is like your $20 cup of coffee right here. It's crazy when we think about it. We'll probably have this coffee at the cupping tomorrow as well.
It's pretty quiet.
Yeah, it's very quiet. So. All right, pass this around. Woo! Okay, natural Esmeralda time, guys. It's gonna be great. Hopefully. Pass that around. So this is like coffee that smells like fruits. Have you guys had Esmeralda before? Okay. All right. This will be a treat. Cute. Yeah, I don't know what the green price on this was, but it was a lot. This little 4-ounce bag was, how much was this? It was like $127 for a little 4-ounce bag of this. So this cup of coffee will be worth a lot of money. And it'll be worth hopefully more because it's brewed by me. We'll find out.
Honestly, she feels like you can buy me that brewer too. I never have enough brewer and plus one.
Did they find one tree or just why so low?
Oh, why is it so low?
There'll be like a
So this varietal.
You got a lot going on right now.
Delicate. It's like a newborn baby. It requires a lot of care, love, and grooming. So it's very difficult to grow cashew trees. Esmeralda really, they are the reason why cashew coffee is what it is today. They are sort of like the discoverers of cashew in 2002, and they had a record-breaking price for this cashew varietal. People tasted this and were like, oh my god, how can coffee taste like this? This floral, like beautiful, elegant profile that you experienced today. They're sort of like the founding father figure in the world.
So brewed actually basically to the exact same ratio as the Taiwan coffee. So the expression of this should be similar. But yeah, coffee brewing is very complicated. I'm at the point of my enthusiast and hobbyist journey where I've started to care a little bit less, or I'm not like too meticulous, I guess, is my point. I'm like, now when most of the coffees, at least I'm brewing, and I think a lot of people are brewing at home, they're not, there are, you can push them in various directions. Like if you're off by a few grams, it'll taste fine, generally speaking. Yeah, a lot of the interesting things with these more premium coffees is that if you, depending on what brewer you use, what brew method you use, the expression can be very different, and it's all super personal preference. Like some people want more body, some people want more sweetness. Personally, I love acidity and vibrancy in coffee, and then all of these different tools and brewers, it's like fine-tuning the exact combination that you want to in the cup, like, and then all the different techniques, like, oh, if I do this, I get more of this in the cup, and then eventually you dial in and you fine tune all the different little parameters to fit kind of your preferences in this coffee stuff. But with a coffee like this, generally speaking, you can do anything to it and it'll taste good, within reason, of course. Like maybe don't cold brew this coffee, but like, So there we go. Here, pass this around actually. I think smelling this coffee is quite worthwhile. Don't drop that. That's like a $30 cup of coffee right there.
More.
More?
Every sip is $5.
Like it actually is like to that price. Like if you were in a cafe, this would be very expensive. But it's like, this is stuff where you're smelling it and you're like, it's so interesting that coffee can smell like this. I have no idea what you're doing. What are you doing?
I'm telling them.
I don't even know if this is still going. Oh wow. The internet right now is like not good. Your cafe internet or your general Wi-Fi stuff is.
Huh?
Oh, it is.
This area, yeah, Verizon. I don't know if it's Verizon. You guys have Verizon? We have Spectrum, right?
Okay. Did you guys still have your cups? Or okay.
So I'm assuming people like buy this coffee, right?
Yes.
Howie!
Yeah, we have some people who are local who bought this, which is cool. But yeah, there wasn't that much of this coffee, just like
I need a cup.
in general. But this is a coffee, like let it cool. Like maybe have a little bit of a sip when it's warm, and then have the rest when it's.
When I brewed it, it hasn't gotten cold.
Oh.
Oh, but it shines when it's cold.
Oh, I know it does. It just hasn't gotten cold.
MJ and Sal.
Yeah. Do you get Esmeralda?
I'm not gonna say no.
Yeah, I guess say no. Yeah. Oh, here's MJ. Esmeralda.
What type of coffees do you typically favor?
Esmeralda.
Yeah.
Oh no, I like pour-over. Espresso feels too aggressive for me.
But like, do you like more like processed coffees or what? Like what countries do you like?
I'm like, I typically at home, like I will drink clean washed coffee, but I am also very open to experimental stuff. Like anything different, I will always try it out. I like naturals too.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about this coffee? I'd say it still needs to cool.
Beautiful naturals.
Yeah.
The Taiwan and this are both naturals. Yeah.
It's interesting because like if you've ever had a naturally processed coffee, sometimes you'll get a lot of like funk.
Yeah.
Like we'd say it's just like funk, or enthusiasts would call it like bin juice. Like it's like coffee that's been in like a bin and just like fermented there, and that's all you taste. And then when those coffees really cool, you taste this like separation of processing and the varietal. These are just like really well tied together. Like it's the processing that's like boosting up this sweetness. It's making the coffee have this like really nice, fruity complexity and all of that. But this is like just such a great representation of the Panama Geisha. The other thing too is like this coffee has like there's so many layers of like fruits in here. But anyway, I don't know. Coffee's fun. I like coffee.
Who between the Taiwan and the Esmeralda, who preferred Taiwan?
Mine's still cooling down a bit. The Taiwan was really nice.
Like the interesting with the Taiwan coffee is like that coffee is basically half the price, essentially. It is really nice, but it's like there are diminishing returns as you get into all of this. But it's really different too, where it's like some of these coffees from these regions, like Ecuador, for example, it's like the reason why the coffee is of this cost is because there are all of these different components to it that add to it. Or maybe it's like volume. Maybe these coffees, like in the Taiwan coffee, it's like there literally is just none of this available. So the prices are a bit everywhere. But I think the thing is like when you pick up those types of coffees, you're really kind of supporting the fact that this exists at all, which is fun. But
has like raising steak prices or like tariffs affected your business at all?
Yes. Yes.
Is there like, what do you do? Like, is there
What did she say?
Raise price? What else can you do?
Yeah.
What should I do?
Don't ask me.
Can I raise prices?
Yeah.
How much?
I mean, I think like if you're transparent about it, like, I don't know, like if you've like established a great like customer base, like I don't know, it's all about communication. You know?
But even the rarity of it, like how rare it is, and I was, you know.
Well, so the very high-end luxury premium coffees, they're in a way less affected by the C price. It's more the daily drivers that
Right.
are immediately affected.
But there's still
So-
gotta be like influence on specialty
For
coffee.
sure.
Right?
Overall, it's like industry-wide. It's a very challenging time. Like I think there's like a shift happening.